Welcome to Lupash Games Emotions Flashcards tutorial. The game was designed to help kids learn about different feelings and values. The game has two types of cards with different educational materials. Cards number 1 and card number 2. Before playing, choose which question cards you want to answer. For this tutorial, let's answer cards number 2. There are 3 ways to play the game. Let's go over them. Memory card game. The classic childhood game we all know and love. For this example, we will only use some of the cards. First, shuffle the cards and spread them face down on the table. The youngest player begins. The goal is to find 2 matching cards. Each turn, flip over 2 random cards. If the cards aren't identical, put them back face down where you found them. It's now the next player's turn. If you found a pair and both cards are identical, keep them and answer the question on the card. In this example, card number 2. Keep turning over 2 more cards at a time until you can't find a matching pair anymore. Another option is to look for value cards. These have no pairs. The only way to win a value card is with a coin toss right before you start your turn. If the coin lands with no value facing up, the turn ends and you can't pick a card. If the coin lands with value facing up, you can select a card. Players that manage to find a value card get to keep it. Finding a regular card instead ends your turn. Each pair of cards counts as 1 point, and each value card counts as 1 point. The game ends when there are no more cards left on the table. The player with the most points wins. Game number 2 is the classic game, Snap. A minimum of 3 players play the game. First, shuffle the cards and deal them as evenly as possible between players. It's okay if some players get 1 more card. Each player puts their cards in a pile facing down. The game begins with the player to the left of the card dealer. Each turn, players turn over the top card of their pile and place it face up in a second pile next to it. When 2 cards match in color, the first player to shout "Snap" wins the piles of both matching cards and puts them at the bottom of their face-down pile. If you make a mistake by shouting "Snap" when there are no matching cards, you need to put your face-up pile in the middle. It now acts as a regular open pile that can match any other pile. To win a match with the middle pile, shout "Snap Pot." If 2 players shout "Snap" or "Snap Pot" simultaneously, they need to combine their face-up piles and add them to the middle area. There can be multiple middle piles at the same time. The winner is the last player left with cards. A player can still win the game if there are middle piles left, as long as there are no other players with cards. Game number 3 is the game Identify the Emotion. First, separate the cards into 2 piles, cards number 1 and 2. Then, choose which pile to use. Add the 5 value cards. Shuffle the cards and place them in the middle. You should have 30 cards in total. The first player takes a card and presents the emotion written on it using charades. The next player in turn has to guess the emotion. They can only guess once. If they guess correctly, they receive the card and need to answer its question. If they fail to guess correctly, return the card to the bottom of the draw pile. It's now the next player's turn. Value cards act like joker cards. When a player draws a value card, they need to flip a coin. If the coin lands on no value, it goes back to the bottom of the pile. If the coin lands on value, the card is theirs to keep. The game ends when no more cards are left in the draw pile. The player with the most cards wins. So, which game would you like to play first?